the new 2018 Maserati Levante SUV, and there's been some minor updates and some major news to go with it. The major news in the UK at least is the introduction of a new 3-litre V6 petrol engine called the Levante S. Whilst across the range, you can now upgrade your Levante with the Gran Lusso and Gran Sport packs for about £6,000. Lusso adding luxury, Gran Sport adding, well, the sporting touch. In addition, the steering system has been changed from hydraulic to electric, which has allowed the introduction of new safety systems. So you now get the option of ADAS, which is Advanced Driving Assistance Systems. The range kicks off from just over £56,000, but today we're testing that Levante S in Gran Lusso trim. The new engine sits alongside the V6 diesel, and this twin turbocharged V6 petrol is produced by Ferrari at their Maranello plant. It develops 424 brake horsepower and 428 pound-feet of torque, meaning this large luxurious SUV will get from standstill to 62 miles an hour in 5.2 seconds. On an official combined cycle, it's claimed to return 25.9 miles to the gallon and emits 253 grams per kilometre of CO2. During our short time testing this, we've averaged 15 miles to the gallon. All Levantes come fitted as standard with an 8-speed ZF automatic gearbox, whilst this model has got the paddle shifters mounted on the steering column. As standard, it comes fitted with adaptive air suspension, which means by using these modes down the side of the gear lever, I can change the setup of the car. So you have normal mode, sport and advanced sport mode, increased control and efficiency mode, which is called ICE and it is preferred in slippery conditions, but also makes everything a lot smoother and more comfortable and is well suited to motorway driving. There's then a manual mode and off-road settings, and they all change the ride height depending on which one you go for. Additionally, as speeds increase, the ride height will lower the faster you go, and that's in two settings: one over 80 miles an hour and one up at 130. So sport mode changes the gearbox, engine and steering response, while sport mode 2 then lowers the suspension. You can also manually change the suspension height if you so wish, if you want to get yourself over a bump or make it easier to get in and out. It also comes fitted as standard with torque vectoring and a limited slip differential to improve handling. Adding to its SUV credentials is an intelligent Q4 all-wheel drive system, which predominantly sends the power and torque to the rear wheel, so it starts off as standard as 100% rear wheel driven. It will also allow a little bit of slippage, so you can have some fun if you want to in this size of car. However, in just 150 milliseconds, that torque can be sent to the front axle to give it a 50-50 split. The Levante also has a 50-50 weight split between the front and rear, a low centre of gravity, and what Maserati claims are the best aerodynamic figures in its class. The Levante is actually based on a modified platform of the Ghibli and Quattroporte. Engage the accelerator and something very strange happens. Initially, what you assume is not a lot. Suddenly there's an eruption of noise as the four exhausts bellow out the back and then screech as you go up the rev range. It goes from a double bass to something quite biblical. But you don't feel like you're going that fast until you look down at the speedometer and are shocked by how quickly you're actually moving. It's so refined in the way it goes forward, it almost feels slow and sluggish, but you've just got that soundtrack to tell you that it's really not. Put it on a motorway though, and it settles down really quite calmly and just cruises along luxuriously. Leave the gearbox to its own devices and gear changes are barely noticeable. However, the manual shifts are nice and quick and actually give you a better sensation of that speed building rather than leaving it in auto mode. The ride's surprisingly comfortable. This has got 19-inch alloy wheels, which is the upgrade from the S from the standard diesel. And that air suspension is dealing with the majority of what the road can throw at it. The majority of bumps, undulations, potholes are dealt with quite calmly. However, throw it into a corner and body roll is well contained. So it does a really good job of marrying handling and ride. However, there is a lot of understeer. Surprising amounts actually, and it really does stop you pushing on that little bit harder. Whilst the steering It's accurate enough, but it's not really got enough feel for what you'd want in a Maserati. Visibility to the front on the driver's side is pretty good. The pillar's nice and thin. However, when you look to the passenger side, it's a little bit thicker, so that does obstruct some of your view. Over the shoulder's fine. That central pillar's not bad, but the rear C pillar with that sloping roofline is quite thick. Inside, the Levante is really nicely appointed. It's got the leather trim finish and these beautifully upholstered Xenia seats. It's a really lovely interior and place to be. It feels luxurious and quality. You've got the dual zone climate control, the 9.7-inch infotainment touchscreen which controls your phone, media, ventilation and road assistance settings such as lane keep assist, blind spot and forward collision alert. You can change those settings to suit you. It has a starter button and keyless entry. However, this one does have quite a lot of kit on it, so this wood is £1,000 option. The paddles are 250 quid, whilst the sunroof is an optional extra as well. However, to get comfortable, I've got a 12-way electric seat, which gives me plenty of adjustment, and even in the lowest setting, I feel really low and integral to the car. In that setting, there's loads of headroom, and I've got a lumbar support as well, so you can get comfortable, and they're rather supportive. The Grand Sport has sportier seats, but these Lusso seats are particularly nice. The steering column is electrically adjustable, and as you can see, it has a good range of tilt and a reasonably good range of reach. Practicality wise, there's a small door bin. There's a little tray up here, I'm told, with a USB connector, but it's jammed at the moment. 2 cup holders in the middle, and then a small tray between the seats, whilst the glove box is actually really rather well sized. Let's have a look in the back. Getting into the back is helped by these big doors, but it's quite a step in. However, the doors all round are frameless and really rather stylish. Once in, I'm really comfortable. These seats are very well padded and the armrest is suitably positioned. The finish is lovely and I've got decent room, so plenty of leg and knee room and just enough headroom for me. You could probably be over 6 foot and still get in here comfortably. This model's got climate control at the back and some USB connectors, as well as a fold down central armrest with 2 cup holders. It's also got a ski hatch through, and these seats using the lever down the side can be adjusted for tilt, so you can find your optimum sitting position or have more room for the boots. They also fold forward and click into position, however there's a slight rise once they are laid down. Overall, the Levante is a luxurious SUV with a beautiful ride and some performance under the bonnet. It's not the definitive sporting answer to SUVs, and if you want that, then look at one of its saloon siblings. Thanks for watching. Do check out Driver's Seat for all the latest news and reviews. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for free, and see you next time.